Welcome to Our Energy Matters with Anthony Manna and Dena Marie. Aloha.
Aloha to you too. And here we are. Episode 88. 88. Woo!
That's a good number.
I like the configuration of the 8 because it looks eternal.
It's infinity.
Yeah, infinity. That's it. And if you put it on its side, it even looks better. So I'll do that. But then I won't be able to read. Anyway, here we are.
I love to see.
So we always say, we always tell people that we've been meeting 88 times to talk about our life's journey. How's that? Because I think that's what it's all about, you know. Our past life's journey, our current life's journey, you know, and I think the most important thing you said in our telephone conversation before episode 88 was that you want to be here now. And you want to live, you know, in the moments. And
they said today the present is a gift, right? The present. It's the gift.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how many times during the course of a week, especially if I'm reading my meditation books, over and over and over again, it's about breathing and staying focused in the moment, you know, and it almost sounds so cliche, you know, but on another level, it works every time.
It's the cure for anxiety. If you are anxious, you're not breathing. And when I did sessions, I usually did it on a Reiki table or in a relaxing chair. They get off work, they come to me and I say, take 3 deep breaths. And they're like, wow, I feel good. I go, that's because you weren't breathing. You literally had no exhale or inhale.
Yeah, no, that's so true. And, you know, so it's like you need those recognitions every once in a while. You need that advice, if you want to call it that, or the awakening, the reawakening to what really matters. And I think that's what we do in our episodes. That's what I feel like I'm doing, because, and I'll tell people this, that I go into your book, which I'll present the title. I always say 3 titles, and I think, she has a book with 3 titles. How does she have a right to have a book with 3 titles?
Because she didn't know what she was doing.
No. Today I kind of explained it a little bit for the first time in my writing. And so then I come up with a piece of writing each time, you know, that 88 of these babies, I mean, maybe someday they'll be, you know, gathered into some kind of presentation. You know, we'll travel around the country doing Our Energy Matters.
So when you're hard on yourself about not writing, think 88.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So today I say, Nai Tot. That's good day to our Vietnamese viewers. And I say, the title for today's episode is Prescriptions for Healing a Blocked or Too Open Chakra. And in our episodes of Our Energy Matters, we explore the practices and poetics of physical, mental, and spiritual self-care revealed through Dena Marie's intuitive soul search discoveries and prescriptions for living a blessed life. A life anointed by well-being, self-love, healthful connections with others, and an enlightened and balanced body, mind, spirit, energy. And that's a lot about the chakras, isn't it, when I say that? But one of the things that I think, one of your themes, and we actually did one of your radio shows about self-love. And it's like, it comes up all the time. And I've never given so much attention to it than through your conversations with me and also through your book, because self-love was considered narcissistic. Self-love was considered hubris, you know, and not being humble and
or selfish.
Selfish, there it goes. So today I say, hey ho, I'm traversing a learning curve that transports me to exhilarating revelations. We just talked about one. Compassionately personal stories and striking truths set onto pathways where I find myself joyfully reawakening to life's treasures that defy, or actually debunk, whatever, feelings of worthlessness, heavy-heartedness, and of being tormented or tarnished by fear. My spirit guide, higher power, God, goddess, destiny, is leading me to a tapestry of truth tellings in Dena Marie's book, which to me is a domain of wonder, healing, and prayerful teachings, spirit tuned and toned to illuminations, casting navigational beacons on her discoveries about the meditative lure of human and humane interdependence, the soul to soul of us, the being to sacred being of us, the angelic depth to depth of us. And I think that when you were just talking to me on the phone about where you've been and how you've been out there with people, that summarized, to me, when I started talking about interdependence just now, it seemed to me that you were talking soul to soul, being to being, and as you went around healing and helping people come to recognize where they're at and where they want to be. This is a book, by the way, with 3 enchanting titles. 3 titles, I tell you. Think of it as the breadth and depth of Dena Marie's mystical outreach. Number 1, our energy matters. Now, for anybody listening to this, if you don't know what that means, you'll soon know. Full stop at the second title, The Art of Crystal Reading. That took me a while to understand too. And then now take a meditative breath at the third title, where she invites her seekers, her clients, her pilgrims to a haven of awareness where they, and here it is, learn how to manifest their heartfelt intentions, which has become a daily, mostly, I'm pretty much remembering it every day now, to state my heartfelt intention for the day. And it feels like a breath of fresh air. It feels like I've opened up the window, and let the breeze come through. Wend your way through the book's labyrinth of enlightening principles, soul mind prescriptions, inspired lessons, and heartfelt stories, and you come upon Dena Marie in the voice of a faith healer or celestial guardian, inspiring all of us to live with wide open hearts and minds, fully present here and now, echoing, it seems to me, the sentiments of a Zen master and poet, Thich Nhat Hanh, who wrote, and he wrote, I'm quoting here, all the wonderful things that you are looking for, happiness, peace, and joy, can be found inside of you. You do not need to look anywhere else. And that, when I read that, I thought of you, because you say that, you actually manifest that in your healing arts. And I think it's a treasure. And as I said on the phone, you have a gift. Awaken to our celestial mentors' practical and practiced divinations of creative, spirited reflections and affirmations of self-love and a deep, deep longing for compassionate connection with the self and with others near and far. Resounding Dena Marie's clarion call for harmony and peacefulness close by to home and beyond to the far-reaching community where you were last week, in that far-reaching community.
I've had like 3 weeks of doing my healing work, and I'm a different person. And I'm back, like not only just an individual session, a group session, a retreat, and then an expo, a 3-day expo.
Yeah, and you were the main speaker.
I have like a how do you call it? I'm a lighthouse again.
Yeah.
I can feel it. It feels good.
Oh, I bet it does. Come, she calls. Come and unbind your chakra truth. Those energy vortexes, she calls them discs, that distribute universal life force energy throughout the body. Clear up your chakra blockages and open yourself willingly to a fully lived, healthful life aligned with your heartfelt and soulful intentions. Listen to Dena Marie's stories of her darkly amusing fictional characters that personify each of the 7 block chakras. So now I ask you, Dena Marie, please put on your cloak of heavenly consciousness and call up the characters you created in your book to illustrate with humorously poignant details, examples of folks with blocked or too open chakras. And I mean, and I'm not being snide here because sometimes when I go through those characters you create, and we're going to look at some right now, I see myself too, so it's like, they're pretty universal. So listeners and viewers, meet Crown Chakra Debbie Downer.
Oh, poor Debbie.
Poor Debbie. Tell us about Debbie.
Well, I had someone this weekend. A lot of people have been adopted, and they have the woe. I could not get this person to look up. I could not get her. I didn't know she was adopted. I just couldn't get her to look up. And I said, when you're a child, count your blessings, everything. And this woman would not look up. And then as we start talking, she was adopted. Because I was just telling a story about, kids that are hopeless, like don't even look up and get their hopes up. So they look down. She had her dad, I'm just going to tell us real quick, her dad and the mom fought. So anytime the daughter was the adopted family, she was close to the dad, the mom would get in the middle of it and kind of ruin it. But when she got older, she got to spend time with her father without the mom. And the only time she actually had a nice look in her eyes when she was thinking about her dad now. And so I said, keep doing that, right? Keep doing that, because the mom's trying to take that away from her, that gift, her dad. It's a weird thing, but she couldn't look up. And Debbie Downer is why was that the Murphy's Law? It's always something bad. It's always something bad. I know lots of people like that, and I don't hang out with them because it's depressing, but they look down and shake their heads and they never lift their spirits. But that's because as children, they were promised things. And one more way to lose that is when you go to a very hardcore religious upbringing, like a Catholic church where Jesus is hanging on the cross bleeding, or you're told that you're no good and you're guilty. And my friend said she, just like you, had to go do the what were you going to say, that you're a bad person to the preacher?
Confession.
She's still traumatized about confession. That's what she talked about with how to find your voice, because she had to make things up.
Very familiar.
That's Debbie Downer. And all we have to do is get Debbie to look up. So what did you used to do as a kid? If you had all the money in the world, what would you do? And it will take practice. Like, it was about 6 months before you looked up, and it was on a radio show. So the person next to me who did healing work with me saw you do it. And before you were trained when you were younger not to look up through the church.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much through the church. And also the idea of sometimes of the immigrant mentality. We weren't a typical immigrant family, but one side of it was my mother's side, because she came, from Italy, and we had that mentality in our lives that we were lowly, that we weren't significant enough, that we had to, it was almost like being in perpetual purgatory, that you had to struggle constantly to prove that you were worthy, and that really had, that, I have to think that sometimes I slip back into that mentality, which is very destructive, and I can imagine when people are coming from San Salvador, and they are coming across the Texas line looking for hope, and then they're told to go back, because they're not worthy enough. That has to be a lasting blemish.
Well, and anytime you can see people shake their head and look down, their crown chakra is blocked. And that's Debbie Downer.
So the crown, okay, and the crown, and then for your wonderful prescriptions, which are so powerful through your book, what do we tell Debbie? What would you tell Debbie in your healing work?
For sure, I would want to see her for 4 weeks and do some like guided imagery. Maybe I would do do-overs. Like maybe the first time someone wants to adopt her, it's happily ever after. Maybe she makes up parents. I did that. I made up parents. But it's a do-over, and then start tuning up these chakras, like visualization, asking for what you want, looking for synchronicity, like playfulness, and help her look up. Maybe we'll go stargazing. I don't know, but she's got to get out of that woe is me, because what happens is she brings people down. You know, the level of no one wants to be around that person most of the time. I mean, I used to always want them to get on the dance floor with me, and I would get them on the dance floor. But then after a while, I realized I was with a bunch of Debbie Downers on the dance floor, and I'm like, this isn't serving me. What I need to do is let everybody that wants to dance come dance with me, and then we're having a party, right?
Yeah.
Instead of me trying to fix and change everybody. Oh, that was a horrible part in my life. Why I did it? Because I'm a people pleaser, and I wanted to make everyone happy.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I can recognize that. I mean, that's something that's relative to being so often in a classroom in, all of my life, trying to make them come around, and then realizing you can't, and then just presenting them with the buffet,
yeah.
hoping that they find what, the right amount of something to get them through. There's also the throat chakra, Kathy chatter.
Kathy chatter. My friend used to call me, and for an hour I'd listen and give her advice, or most of the time I didn't talk, just listen. And then I say, oh, I gotta go now. Click. You're just like, oh my God. Well, like me, that's who I used to be. I always wanted to, give everyone an ear or whatever. And my throat chakra was closed at that time. So we were attracted to each other because mine was closed and hers was too open. And she was also in a relationship where she wasn't in love with her husband. So that was the problem. She didn't want to see it. She didn't want to feel it. So these two blocks caused this chakra to be too big. So when you get people that are gossiping or talking bad about people, usually they're protecting their heart, and they're maybe more than likely in a relationship they don't want to see. And they don't listen. They don't listen. And one time I accidentally called her. This is like 30 years later. I have a friend named Kathy. So I texted her. I said, oh, we're going dancing, blah, blah, blah. I'll see you there. And it was the other Kathy from years ago. And she called me an hour later. She still was the same person. She kept talking. And I was like, oh, delete, delete, delete.
Oh my God. And so all right. So what about her? I mean, what the
Her
throat?
prescription would be, one, her mom was very hard on her, and she had no self-love at all. Like, she looked perfect, but she had it was always about the way things looked. So it would take her 3 hours to get ready to go somewhere, that kind of stuff. But she had to practice self-love, and maybe not wear makeup, and go out and just be yourself and enjoy life instead of always trying to present it as perfect. Get out of that bad relationship, right? And then also you could see what was going on. And then she probably did need inner child work. She needed to go back to her childhood, where she was told she wasn't good enough, and in an atmosphere that she didn't want to be in. So I would say she needed some counseling too, really.
I would think so. But someone would have to be honest with her about the chatter.
And I would basically, I'd make her look in the mirror. She would look in the mirror and have to say she loves herself just the way she is. And I bet you she'd start crying, and that little girl would come out who probably didn't have a voice.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I just learned so much, from the prescriptions. And I say here, healing prescriptions abound in your book, on especially pages 52 to 54, but also on the back. I always like showing this on the back cover, prescriptions for this side. What you do here is you present the health on this side, and then the blockages over here with your suggestions for prescriptions. So for the root chakra, which the blockages are money issues, addictions, and low self-esteem, you say sit in nature, plant a garden, do something physical, and receive a massage.
A massage. I need one of those.
Hey, yeah. I wouldn't mind doing something like that lately, in a recent few days from now. So anyway, there is hope and healing in these accessible remedies for folks with blocked or too open chakras. So much to learn from you, celestial healer. Praise be for the remedies you prescribe for each chakra. Hallelujah. All praise for these blessed sacraments with promises of healing.
Yay.
Yay. I love
I
it.
thought in the middle of this one, it just popped into my head like a light bulb. I want to just sit and listen to your readings on our YouTube, and I'm going to just pick out words that you say that I've never heard said before together.
Yeah, that would
I
be
come up with a whole new dictionary.
yeah, that would be cool. We did come to think of it. Sure.
I'm going to do it for healers. Like, you come up with the things that, like, if you wanted to rebrand me, I could go into all those words. All right, and my website's down, everybody. It's a long story, but I guess it's time to reinvent myself. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take all your words
Oh, well,
and
good.
put them
So
on my
in
new
other words,
website.
so you're talking about things like when I call you a celestial healer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
'cause,
just
I
the
mean, that's
celestial
what I
arts.
think when I see the thing is about that kind of terminology, like celestial healer, because I just think that you draw these things from the energy, so it's like it's up there, it's up there, it's up there. You're looking up, you're taking it down, and you're bringing it in its pure form to people to have them open up.
And you're painting all these pictures in my mind's eye, which keeps this open. So when you read to me, it's a prescription for me.
Yes, well, good.
Oh gosh, yes. So again, you're a blessing.
So were you. If you want to move closer to Dena Marie's wisdom, then listen to her weekly radio show, Lift Your Spirits, on 11:50 a.m. KKNW on Friday mornings on the West Coast at 8 o'clock. It's a great way to have breakfast. Her website is dena-marie.com. If you go there, you'll find out a lot about the celestial artist.
But now you can go to Lift Your Spirits with Dena Marie on Facebook until I have a week to sit there and make a new website. Oh God, you ask for new beginnings, you'll get them.
There it is right there. So anyway, yes, I mean, if you go to the website, you find out a lot about her work as a healer, basically, is what I want to say. And I mean, it's very uplifting. I also have an interview with Dena Marie on my website, which is anthonymannabooks.com. And we talked a lot about your beginning. Where did this all come from? How did you know? Because you got a gift, you received a gift and you nurtured a gift through your own experimentation, which you talk about in your book very openly, which I found very, what's the word? Sympathetic to yourself, but also acknowledging the fact that we go through changes in our lives. And
you said it's a learning ground. This is a school, a physical matter, spiritual to physical matter school, and what we're manifesting around us: good relationships, bad relationships, a beautiful home, a new car, or maybe a job that you love, or whatever. Or the opposite of those, right?
Yeah.
So that's what this is about, and we have to learn. We have to tune up our chakras. It's that simple.
It's that simple. So in my website, you'll also find a lot of work that I've done over the years with children, tweens and teens, for opening them up to life through reading and writing. So there's a lot of information about writing exercises, books, poetry, etc. And also my own book, which is Loukas and the Game of Chance, a whole section on how to draw children in. Thank you very much. And it's time to go.
Oh, we'll see each other next week.
Okay, I look forward to it. Thanks a lot. Okay,
right.
everybody, bye. Bye-bye.
Aloha.
Aloha, bye-bye.